Our grammar skill today is verb tenses. Let's take a look at our objectives. We are learning to identify past, present, and future verb tenses, use tenses correctly in writing and speaking, and identify and correctly use helping verbs and past participles. What is a verb? Let's go ahead and recall with this fun song.
I arrive at the scene of a burning building. Alas, on the third story is a noun, and he says, I can't do anything. Yes, you can. I entreat him. I can what? You can jump to safety. Splat. On second thought, maybe you can try to run down the stairs. But no matter what you do when there's a fire, then you must stop, drop, and roll. No matter what you do, you must take action. So be an action hero, woman, man. Yes, you must strive for quick retraction of an action. Yes, they're big words, but I'm sure you understand. You must be taking action, making action all of the time. Always have adventure in mind. Yes, I'm taking action, making action all of the time. Whatever you seek, you shall find, because you're an action verb. Yes, an action verb. It may sound absurd, but you're an action verb. So you can see, hear, dance, sing, meow, swoon, love, cry. So you can see, that's a wrap. Everybody take 5. Oh, excuse me. No worries, man. You're here. Come in, just me. Who are you? I don't mean to intrude. Dude, I'm a thinking. Be like me, express a state of being. I am exact, man.
Dude, I'm a Lincoln. Be like me, express a state of being.
That's me, man. I'm all about
man.
I'm coffee.
That's me, man.
I'm happy, man. Let's go and see it. While I'm speaking down the equal action. That's your satisfaction. Goodbye.
That's your satisfaction.
I arrive at the foot of a massive tree. Hanging from the end of the tallest branch is a pronoun, and she says,
I can't do anything.
Yes, you can, my lady.
But I'm scared.
Never fear, I am here, and you are.
Hanging from the end of the
Beautiful.
tallest branch is a pronoun, and she said,
Oh, save me, action verb. I'm scared. Before I go splat under this tree.
I will rescue you.
Free. Oh, save me, action verb. Before I go
splat
under this tree.
I will rescue you.
Set me
Frankly, my dear,
Sing with me.
no matter what you do, you must take action. So be an action hero, woman, man. Yes, you must strive for quick retraction of an action. Yes, they're big words, but I'm sure you understand. You must be taking action, making action all of the time. Always have adventure in mind. Yes, I'm taking action, making action all of the time. Whatever you seek, you shall find, because you're an action verb. Yes, an action verb. It may sound absurd, but you're an action verb. So you can see, hear, dance, sing, meow, swoon, love, cry, kiss.
Kiss me, action verb.
So you can see, hear, dance, sing, meow.
All right, now let's do a rapid review after watching that fun video. A verb is a word that describes an action or a state of being. Action verbs include things like walk, laugh, play, create, anything that you do. State of being verbs include am, is, are, and will. These verbs help describe what you are, what something is, or what something will be. They link the subject to the action verb. Let's take a look at these examples. I am happy. She is smart. We are learning. You will grow. Today we'll be focusing on verb tenses. A verb tense tells you when an action is taking place. An action can take place in the past, meaning it's already happened, in the present, meaning it's happening now, or in the future, meaning it will happen later. These are all the tenses: past, present, or future. Let's see if you can identify what tense this is. I washed my hands. She walked home from school. Can you take a guess? Past, present, or future? Some of you are thinking it's past tense, and you are correct. How do you know it's past tense? Oh, you're identifying the ed at the end of the verb wash and at the end of the verb walk. Great observation. The past tense describes an action that already happened. Most verbs in the past tense end in ed. Now, actions do not need to be a long time ago to be in the past. Let's take a look at some examples. I ate baby food. For me, this was years and years and years ago, a very long time ago. It wasn't just yesterday that I ate baby food, it was years ago. So this was a long time ago and is still considered the past. I ate breakfast this morning. Well, for me, this was just a few hours ago. So while it still happened today, it happened earlier today, which is still considered the past. What tense is this? I can hear the birds outside. The family is eating Thanksgiving dinner. Some of you are guessing that it is present tense. How do you know? Oh, we see that the action verb here is not altered, and the action verb eating is altered with an ing at the end. Great observation. So this is the present tense. The present describes an action happening now or continuously happening. Most verbs in the present tense end with ing or have no suffix at all. Let's take a look at some examples. I can hear the birds outside. The family is eating Thanksgiving dinner. Now let's try this one. What tense is this? You will learn to drive. You will learn about compound sentences. I'm sure some of you are guessing the future tense, but how do you know? Oh, you spot the linking verb will in both sentences. Great note. This is the future tense, and the future describes an action that has not happened yet. Verbs in the future tense usually have the linking verb will in front of them. Now, actions do not need to be far away to be in the future. You will learn to drive. For you boys and girls, this is far away. Years away, actually. So this is in the far future. The next example, you will learn about compound sentences. Well, this is just a few weeks away, but it still hasn't happened yet, so it's still in the future. Let's take a look at our formula when altering verbs to show past tense, present tense, and future tense. Past tense verbs usually have ed at the end. Present tense verbs sometimes use the words is or are in front of it with the verb and ing at the end. Sometimes the verb isn't even changed. And future tense verbs have the linking verb will in front of it. let's try out the formula with the word play. Past tense. We just add ed, so play becomes played. Present tense. We can just keep play as play for present tense, or we can use the linking verb is and add ing to the end. So play becomes is playing. And finally, future tense. We just use the linking verb will, so play becomes will play. You must beware though. Some verbs do not work in past tense using the formula. We call these verbs irregular verbs. These are the ones that we just have to memorize their past participle. So let's take a look at some examples that we should memorize. The past tense of eat is ate, not eated. The past tense of make is made, not maked. The past tense of see is saw, not seed. The past tense of swim is swam, not swimmed. The past tense of shake is shook, not shaked. These are just some irregular verbs that we must memorize their past participle. Let's practice a little bit more. I have a sentence here. I watch a movie with my family. What is the verb? The action verb. That's correct. It is watch. Now, is it in past, present, or future tense currently? You are correct. It is in present tense. Now, how do we make this sentence in the future? Using our formula, we know that we should use a linking verb will. So the sentence becomes, I will watch a movie with my family. How do we make this sentence in the past? Well, we know that we add ed to the end of the action verb. So the sentence becomes, I watched a movie with my family. Now, boys and girls, you will go ahead and practice number 1 on your worksheet. Well, really, it's in your Google Slides. You have this sentence here. Georgia ate the last cookie. On your Google Slides, identify if it is in the past, present, or future tense. Go ahead and pause right here to do so. I'm sure you guys have identified that it is in the past tense because ate is the past tense version of the action verb eat, which we know is an irregular verb. Now go ahead and rewrite the sentence in the future tense and in the present tense. Pause right here and come back to check your work. Okay, let's take a look. The future tense is Georgia will eat the last cookie. And the present tense is Georgia is eating the last cookie. I'm kind of jealous. I wish I had that last cookie. Let's take a look at this GIF here. Pause right here and write a sentence for this GIF in the past tense, the present tense, and future tense. Pause the video here to do so on your Google Slides. Let's check your work. For the present tense, you should have something like Charlie Brown is closing the mailbox and sighing. Notice for the present tense, we use the linking verb is, and we use the suffix ing at the end of the action verbs. For the past tense, you should have something like Charlie Brown closed the mailbox and sighed. Notice how both action verbs have ed at the end. And finally, for the future tense, you should have something like Charlie Brown will close the mailbox and sigh. Notice that we use the linking verb will and that the action verb doesn't change. Now let's take a look at number 2 on your worksheet. Can you write sentences in past, present, and future for this GIF? Pause right here to do so. All right, let's take a look. The minion danced would be past tense. The minion is dancing would be present tense. And the minion will dance would be future tense. How did you boys and girls do? The next part of your assignment to do independently is to read this story and circle each verb. All the verbs are used incorrectly. After you've circled each verb, you're going to want to correct them with the correct verb tense of each. Boys and girls, you can do that by filling in the blanks. This is on your Google Slides. Go ahead and show what you know.